Welcome to this presentation, which will demonstrate how to add a mixture to the active database on the electronic cost system. Proprietary products with the safety data sheet will generally consist of a number of ingredients listed under Section 2 of the safety data sheet. In our example, we will use mixture ABC, which has an overall safety data information under Section 2, and the hazard statements are listed on this slide. Mixture ABC is made up of a number of component parts: chemicals A, biological B, which we will find listed on the active database, and chemical C and biological D, which are not listed. Before we can create a record for mixture ABC, we must first check if its component parts or ingredients are on the active database. Once we've logged on, we will search both the active database and Sigma Aldrich database. So we'll log in as ourselves and go to chemicals and biological agents. We will search the active database, in the first instance for chemical A, using the exact match criteria. And we can see that chemical A is an active agent on the entire database. We will then check for chemical C, again using exact match, and we can see that it's not available in the active database. We could check the Sigma Aldrich database, but being an example, we know that it will not be there. We'll then check our biological agents. In the first instance, biological B, which is an active agent, and biological D, using again the exact match criteria, and it's not on the active database. So both these agents that are not on the active database will need to be added. So if we go to get back to chemicals and biological agents, we want to create an agent request. In the first instance, we're going to create an agent request for chemical C. In this case, it's just a chemical. Putting in a CAS number, which of course is made up in this case. We don't know its formula, so we must put in some text into that field. So in this case, we'll put not applicable, and similarly for the SMILES. The form of the substance is a liquid, and then we're going to enter the hazard statements that are on the safety data sheet, and we're on this slide at the beginning of this presentation. So we have the hazard statement H312, hazard statement 315, and then hazard statement 319. Once you've completed entering the hazardous statements, you want to go down to the notes section and put in as much information as you can about the substance you are working with. This is particularly relevant when you're working with unknown substances, and you must put in any information you have on the hazardous properties. You can then choose the file to download, in this case the safety data sheet for chemical C. And then you scroll down and choose the individual you want to request approval from. In this case, we will select the DSE for the Safety Services Department. In your case, it will already be set up. We'll now go on and request addition of a biological agent to the active database. This time, biological D is the name of the substance, and the agent type is biological agent. This will give us a different set of criteria to the chemical agents to complete. Please note that in 2017, this criteria will change and the training will be updated in line with this. You want to enter the biological hazard group for the substance if it's known, hazard group 1, 2 or 3. You then want to identify whether or not it is genetically modified. We're going to select no for the purposes of this example, and then identify any particular information on this biological agent. For instance, it may be subject to the Anti-Terrorism, Crime and Security Act or the Specified Animal Pathogens Order. Here we will select not applicable. for the purposes of this example. If there are any hazard statements or hazard information that apply to this biological agent, then you can include it under hazards. Here we're going to enter the hazard statement H302. And again, under the notes section, put in as much information as you know about the hazardous properties of this particular biological agent that might be relevant. You then choose the file if there is a safety data sheet available, upload it to the record, and again, select the individual you want to request approval from for this particular biological agent. Note that it may be different from the individual that will authorise the chemical agents. Before we can create the final record for mixture ABC, we must create a component part to represent the hazard data information under section 2 of the overall safety data sheet. So here we're going to create a record for mixture ABC component part. And you will use the information or the hazard information that you have available under section 2 of the overall safety data sheet. The agent type is a chemical. If you know the CAS number, then enter the CAS number. If you don't, then you must put in a text field. Continue to complete the fields as requested, the CAS number, the formula and the smiles if you have them. Make sure and put some sort of text into these fields. The form of the substance and the hazard statements. We'll be taking these from section 2 of the safety data sheet for the overall mixture ABC. Put a note into the notes section to make it clear that this record relates to the component part of mixture ABC. Again, if you have the safety data sheet, choose the file and attach it, and then request approval from the most appropriate person. Here you'll see that a number of the fields are similar to other ones, but easily enough you can request a variant. For instance, not applicable appears on a number of other records. So if you click on request a variant, it will send request for approval to the nominated person. Once you have got approval for your agents from your DSC or appointed person, in this case chemical C and biological D, as well as the mixture ABC component part, then you can start to generate a record for your overall proprietary product, mixture ABC. This you will need to do by, again, requesting an agent and naming it mixture ABC. And we'll show you how to do this just now. We want to request addition of a new agent. We want to put in the name of the agent, mixture ABC, and here we are going to select mixture. And this allows us to choose component agents or component parts of the substance. In the first case, we are going to add mixture ABC component part, which shows the overall hazard statements for the product, for the entire product. Then we will add each individual chemical and biological agents that make up this substance. In this case, chemical A, biological B, chemical C and biological D that we have added and requested approval for to the active agent database. Once we've added all our component parts, we can then, using the eye icon, have a look at each individual records for each of the ingredients of this substance. So we've had a look at mixture A, B and C component part, chemical A, biological B, and then again we can use the notes section to write any information or additional information that we may have for the overall proprietary product. In particular, I'm going to include information relating to the percentages of each constituent part. This makes it clear which ones are more significant than others. We'll then go on to choose a file, particularly the safety data sheet, and select the appointed person to send the form to for approval. Once we have got approval for our mixture ABC, we can then add it to our COSH form. This is a demonstration COSH form that we've been using, and we'll go to section 2 and search for mixture ABC. A note of caution is try not to add the component part version, add just the straightforward mixture ABC. Once we've added it, we can then insert the quantity that we are using and the physical form of the substance. Once that's done, there will be an additional route of entry to be added. And here I'm just going to add direct contact by skin. If you need any more information on adding agents to the active database, then please refer to the help sections. Thank you for listening.